In this video, I'm going to show you a step-by-step process of how I create my YouTube thumbnails. And I will say, if you do not have Canva Pro, I'm going to be using some Canva Pro features in this video. So I highly recommend upgrading to Canva Pro. I was so happy when I did, and I wish I did it years sooner. It would have saved me so much time and money and resources if I did it sooner. So I will recommend Canva Pro, which I'll have a link down below in the description box for you. And also, if you don't have Rakuten, I definitely recommend Rakuten because you get 40% cash back on your subscription. So that's like almost halfway paid for. So definitely download Rakuten if you don't, and it's amazing. And then if you spend over $30, then you get $30 cash back with my link. So it's a win-win all around. So I'll have that linked for you down below. Okay. Starting off with making the thumbnail. Now, full transparency, I have, you can see down here your designs, I have 88 thumbnails that I just kind of work off and tweak that I use, and you can see some of them here scrolling through, and I'll kind of take different elements from different things. But I'm going to show you how I do it from scratch. So once you start building your designs, you can kind of work off of each other. But starting from scratch, we're going to go to Create Design up in the upper right-hand corner. Then I am going to go to Custom Size, and I'm going to go Pixels. I'm going to go 1280 by 720. That is the standard YouTube size. You can also see here suggested thumbnail YouTube right there. You can click that as well. It's going to open up a new tab, and here we have a blank slate. So some things that I'm going to do is, first I like to do the background. So I want a gradient for the background just to kind of make it pop. So I'm just going to type in gradient, and then it gives me some options. So I want something fun. So let's do this guy right here. And I'm going to pop him in. And then I am going to add a image. So if you want, you can upload media right from your desktop or downloads or whatever it is. I have a bunch already here saved that I'm going to use. So I want something fun. Let's see. Let's do this one here, just because we're going to point and we're going to do some text. Now I will say that I always recommend people to have a picture or something on the right and then text on the left, because YouTube will put their timestamp in the bottom right hand corner, and a lot of times that'll cut off the text. So I don't want it to cut off the text, what people want to read. I want it to cut off me. So I'm going to put me on, I always put me on the right and whatever's important on the left. So I am going to flip this, flip horizontal. So now it's on the pointing in the right direction. Then I like my face to be kind of the focus, not super, super small. So next, let's add some text. So I'm going to do add a heading. And then I'm going to drag it over here, and I'm going to do how to create YouTube thumbnails. Okay, so here's my text, and we can kind of play around with it. If you move from the corner, it changes the size, or you can change it up top as well. But I just kind of like to, I use both. And then this little guy here, I can kind of move it around. Now, I personally like doing multiple layers with my text, and I have my fonts here. Open Sans Extra Bold, that's my go-to for fonts with my thumbnails. So what I'm going to do for this one is I may do a YouTube logo. If you go to Elements, you can type in YouTube, and a lot of times they'll have them here, different YouTube things. So what I may do is have the logo. I think I'm going to put the logo up top just to kind of catch people's attention. And then this will be down here. Okay, so how to create YouTube thumbnails. And I want this to be a little bit more together. So I'm going to do line spacing and bring them a little closer so I can make it a little bigger. And I honestly, I don't care if it's over me, and we can move this around. I'm not going to worry about this. I'm more worried about the words and everything. All right, so what I'm going to do first is I like white lettering. So I'm going to change the lettering to white. Then I'm going to add some layers. So first layer I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of set how I want the sizing to be first. I can always adjust it later, but want to try and get them pretty much how I like it. Then I'm going to do these 3 dots and do these 2. This is duplicate, and I'm going to duplicate it. Now I'm going to go into color, and I am going to make this black, and I'm just going to line it up, and I'm going to go into effects. Now this is a Canva Pro feature. I'm going to go lift. So this kind of grays it out, as you can see, kind of makes it a little pop a little bit. And I like that feature, and I can change the intensity. So I can do like no intensity or full intensity. I'm going to do full intensity so we have some shadow. Then I'm going to do position, and I'm going to send this back. So now here we kind of have we can see the shadow a little bit, makes it pop, gives it a little bit of a shadow. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the 3 dots. I'm going to do one more. Then I'm going to go black color again. I'm going to line it up. Then I'm going to do effects, and I'm going to do hollow. So what this just did is it created an outline of these. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight them. So this highlighted all 3, and I'm going to group it together. So now if I move it, it groups it together or makes it bigger, smaller, whatever I want to do. So see how if it's over my hand, it doesn't really matter too much because we still have the outline and we can still see the words pretty clearly. But I want it to pop a little bit more and kind of catch your eye. So I'm actually going to do, let me see here. Let me go to YouTube, and I want to look at their, that doesn't show me. I'm going to go to Google and go YouTube logo. And just go to Google Images. Okay, so this is what I wanted to see, the black and the white. So, or the black and, this is I talk to myself too, as you guys can tell. I kind of want to mimic this in this YouTube here. So let's see if we go to elements. So what I could do is let me ungroup these for a minute. Ungroup. So that way I can play, let's see, I'm going to take off this top layer because I want to play with this coloring here. I want to see if I do this as black and this as red, how that looks. Let's see, let's go back. What if we do this as white? How does that look? YouTube. I like it. And then I sometimes will go and I'll go small, like super small, so I can see how it looks, because as people are scrolling, then this is about the size that it's going to be versus big. When I'm editing, I like it big, but then I like to go back and see how it's going to look. No, I'm not too big on that. Let's try just red. All red for this YouTube. I may like that. Ooh, yeah, I like that more. I like it, guys. All right, so let's bring that over. Now we can regroup this so that when we move it, okay. And then I want to change this a little bit. Make it a little bit smaller. And I can kind of, that way I'm kind of pointing at YouTube. I don't care that my head's cut off, that's fine. Then what I like to do is I like to make my body or my face pop. So I am going to go to edit image, and this is a Canva Pro feature. Then if you go all the way down to the bottom, you're going to see shadows and hit glow. And then you can see it kind of did a little bit of a gray there. I'm going to hit the little gear icon, and I can change the size so I can make the glow bigger. I can change the transparency, so if it's like super glow, and then the blur for how much it's like faded, like that. So then I'm going to mess around with the color too. So I either typically do black or white. If I'm doing a dark background, I like the white, but for this, I kind of like, I don't know what I like better. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to hit this button here, which is going to duplicate it. And I'm going to do one in gray and one in black or in white and see which one I like different when they're shrunken down. So let's see, that one was white. Let's do this one in black. Size. Let's blur it a little bit more. Okay. Then typically when you do that, it kind of distorts it and you got to like adjust how you want it again. Sometimes it makes it look a little funny. Okay, so it actually like slimmed me out when I did that. Let's see. All right, that's the black, that's the white. So I'm going to zoom out and just kind of see which one pops more for me as I'm looking. And honestly, I think the white one pops a little bit more for me. Let me know down below in the comments, which one do you like better, the black or the white one? I kind of think I like the white one. I like it. Okay, so that is my thumbnail. So I'm going to just delete this. I don't need it. And then we're good to go. We are good. You could do something like this if you wanted to. You know what? I'm going to delete this. And I'm going to do this to kind of like just create a shadow. I'm going to do duplicate it. This I'm going to do white, and then I'm going to see if this works. I want it a little bit smaller so we get a little bit of a thing. And I'm just using my arrow keys to move it. And then I'm going to try red. How does this look? To give it a little bit of an outline. Yeah? What do you guys think? Give it a little pop of color. There we go. I like it. I think it looks good. How to create YouTube thumbnails. Okay, so now I'm ready to go. I'm going to go share and download PNG. And I'm going to go download. And then if I click it, here it is. Here is my thumbnail that is ready to go. Now you do want to make sure that you title this thumbnail similar to the same thing as you're titling your YouTube video for SEO research, for SEO search, and you want to make sure that you are getting in those keywords in the name of the file. You don't want to keyword stuff it, but you want to get at least one long tail keyword in there. So we are good to go.